Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grove, another episode where we come together to join our community, celebrate our passion for personal empowerment, magic, and meditation. Today, we are going to be discussing a topic I haven't really thought about for many, many, many years, and I'll get into that a little bit more after the meditation. But we are going to be talking about the five essentials of witchcraft. Oh, I'll talk about it now a little bit. Anyway, the five essentials of witchcraft is something that many of us are taught during the beginning of our training, especially if you are becoming an initiate within a Wicca coven or you are studying Wicca. This is a foundational teaching that is taught to all of us early on. And I haven't really thought about them for so many years, and I thought it'd be great to look back at them and see how they work in my life now, 30 something years later, and hopefully share some of my experiences with them with all of you. So we are going to be doing that in just a moment. Let me head on over to the chat and so I can see some of y'all if you're there. So hello and welcome. Anyway, as usual, I would like to thank you all for joining me today. I'm very grateful that you were here to participate in the special time that we have to share with each other. I know I really enjoy spending time with you all and speaking with all of you during these broadcasts. I am going to have some big news coming up probably in a few weeks in reference to where these broadcasts are going and where I'm headed, what direction I'm going to be heading. Things are going to be changing a little bit, but not too much. I will always be here for you every week. I just may choose different places to be here. But anyway, without further ado, as usual, I'd like to start every one of our Grove broadcasts with an invocation of the goddess. So if you would be kind enough to join me, you can close your eyes if you'd like. O great goddess, lady of the night and the silvery moon, she whom is the darkness and the light that shines through it, hail to thee, great lady of the moon, and hear us, your children, as we ask of your divine presence here within our circle of light, where we have come to partake of the great beauty, strength, and wisdom that lies within each and every one of us. Blessed be. And hello to Don Porter on Facebook. I see you there. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. And today's reading from the Book of One. I'm not even sure if I've read this one yet since we've started doing the weekly readings. I may have, but I was thinking about how, when you start on the spiritual path, and not only the spiritual path, but your life path, your life's calling, whatever that might be, how important it is for us to respect another person's path. So with that idea, I chose passage number 14 from the Book of One. Yay. Stupid green screen won't let you see the blue. It's number 14, and it is called The Individual Path. And it states, do not judge others in their action. All persons know what is wrong or right for them. If they run into trouble, it was meant to be. The same if they achieve a great victory. For it is all in the way of one. Every day is a new lesson on life, and everyone must go to school. Something wonderful for us to contemplate as we do our minute meditation. So let's go ahead and get grounded. We'll do our minute meditation together. If you'd like to join me, you can close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Bring our attention to this moment and join me for this moment meditation. Breathing in, I am calm, and breathing out, I am in peace. Namaste and blessed be. So, welcome everyone. I see we got Nico Peters over there on YouTube. Hello there, and hello Burning Spirit Light over there on YouTube as well. Actually, I'm going to be answering that. He's got a question. What is a ritual? We're going to go into that quite a little bit today. So I mentioned it at the beginning, and for the next 20 minutes or so, I'd like to go into what are the 5 essentials of witchcraft. Again, this is something that is usually taught to the neophyte, the fledgling, the initiate, when you're going for your first degree initiation in Wicca and other magical groups. This is usually, I think it's fair to say this is something you're taught either your first or second year. It's been quite a long time since it was taught to me. So we're looking at probably 30 years this year that I was taught about this. 30 years? Yeah, geez, boy, time flies. But anyway, it's some basic standard stuff, but it's not basic and standard if we are not doing them, if we're not practicing them. And it's usually taught in a particular order. And the 5 essentials in the order that it's taught is the first essential is intention. The second is preparation. The third is purification. The fourth is the circle. And last is consecration. But I'm going to reverse that today. And there's a reason for that, because I feel that intention is probably the most important one. And I'd like to dedicate much of the time that we have to talk today on the intention. You know me and my intentions. Yes, we will be doing an intention at the end of today's show. But without further ado, let's talk about the 5 essentials of witchcraft. And the first one that I'm going to cover, which is the last one that's usually on the list that's taught to you, is consecration. And consecration means that all tools and all ritual materials that you are using are to be consecrated to their magical functions. Now, a lot of people, and I bring this up, and I'm glad we're covering this, because a lot of the questions I get from people are, how do I consecrate my tool? How do I cleanse my tool? How do I dedicate my tool? And for me, the consecration of tools and all of our ritual materials are about giving them an intention. So an intention kind of falls in all of this. For example, I recently received a wonderful gift from someone. I got what's the right word I'm looking for? A stag horns, deer horns. A friend had gifted them to me. I was like, I really want to have some stag horns to put onto my altar, especially when I'm working with nature spirits and whatnot. And while the hunter who got them, of course, cleaned them and, did all the stuff that they're supposed to do to them, it's up to me as to ascribe to them the purpose that I will be using them, what the reason I will be using them for. Granted, yes, the staghorns are mostly going to be a decoration, but I use them as the male energy, as a masculine energy that I place within my cauldron on my altar. So it's, for lack of a better term, many of you know about the Great Rite, it is the union of the male and the female. I place my staghorns that represent male into my cauldron to emanate the energy of balance. So this brings up another thought that I want to share with you about consecration, purification, and all this stuff about tools and whatnot. It's knowing what you're going to use them for. A lot of people love to have, and I'm one of them. I love pretty things. I like nice things on my altar, but I'm not going to place, I get gifts from you all the time, and I thank you for them. But I'm not going to put a crystal that I don't know what crystal it is. I don't know what the energy and the attributes are on my altar until I am secure in the meaning of what that crystal stands for. And I cleanse it. There's a proper way to cleanse specific crystals. I'm not going to go into that today, but be careful. Some crystals dissolve in water. Some crystals, don't do well with salted water, or salt even. So you want to know the treatment and care of crystals is a whole class unto itself. And maybe we should have the Crystal Crone come back on. It's been a while, so she can share some of that. But when it comes to your tools, whatever it is you're using, I cannot stress enough how important it is to ascribe their purpose. Usually it'll start with a cleansing. I buy my robes off eBay. I don't know what factory it was made in. I don't know what mood the person was in that made it, if it was made in a factory or even if it was handmade. But I am most certainly going to, I'm just giving you an example with a robe, is I most certainly am going to wash it myself before I use it. And not only that, I am going to smudge it, and I'm going to put in the intention that this is my sacred garment that I'm going to wear during a ritual. So your tools are an addition to the magic and the focus of whatever work you're doing. So I really feel it's really important to make sure that you cleanse, that you charge, if you want to charge them, or at least dedicate them to the intended use. And once you have intended them to that use, to only use them for that. Many times I have seen younger witches or newer witches, wear their robes like out in public and like trying to, I don't know why people would do that. But I have a Halloween robe that I wear on Halloween to give out trick-or-treaters, and then I have the robe I use only in circles. So as much sacredness that you put into your tools and as much consecration and focus you're putting into them, that's what you're going to get out of them. So that's that first one. And I see someone else joined us. Hi, Jamie on Facebook, and hello, Maja from Detroit on YouTube. Hello there. Thank you for joining us. Let's move on to the circle. The circle is another essential aspect of witchcraft. Now, depending on your magical tradition, if you have one, depending on how you were trained or whatnot, a magical circle can be done many different ways. I remember being a part of a druidic order for a little while, and we at the time, me at the time, didn't feel we wanted to create a circle. Yes, of course, we worked outside and we just felt that being outside was sacred enough. But there's something to be said about preparing your circle, even if you're not casting one. The definition I have here, and by the way, I'm using as a reference uh, the Magician's Companion, which is a fantastic book by Bill Wickham. If you don't have it, it's like the Encyclopedia of Magic. I believe every magical practitioner should have it in their library. But anyway, I'm taking this these 5 essentials from that book. And he says you must have a secure place of working where a circle may be cast. Depending on your tradition, you're going to have different ways that you approach this. For me, the most important thing is to have a space where you are not going to be disturbed, where you are not going to be seen by people who may not understand what's going on. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, many of you know that my coven and I practice here in my home. We use the backyard, and my neighbors have always been very respectful. They kind of know, oh, there's Bernard with his weird witchy stuff going on. They hear drumming and chanting, and everyone's pretty cool about it. However, there was a neighbor who was, I guess she was too much of a heavy drinker. I don't even want to speculate about it, but she was being disrespectful. She was yelling at us from atop of, on top of the stairs, going, "Oh, I got to call Jesus Christ," and all that, being very disrespectful toward the rite that we were doing. And I ended the ritual. It was, the magic was lost. I was like, you know what? This person is lending their negative energy toward it. I am not going to do this. Of course, now everything's been taken care of and that's not going to happen again. However, your circle, some people prefer to do circle indoors, especially if you're dealing with a ceremonial magic group. I had a magical chamber when I was studying Golden Dawn, and we did all of our work indoors. I had a room in my home that was dedicated to my practice and my work. As well, now, not only do I do work outside, I also do work inside. My office is also where I broadcast, but it is also a place that I set up my altar and a place that I have set up for me to be able to do magical workings indoors. So what's the purpose of the circle? To make sure that you have a secure place where you're not going to be disturbed. When we do our simulcast, how do we say, these cyber rituals that we do, which I'll be doing with you for summer solstice or winter solstice, if you're down under, if you'll read the descriptions, I don't know how many of you actually read the descriptions when I put out the event page. Always make sure you are not going to be disturbed, that you are going to have a place where that you can consider and create sacred space. So the ability to create sacred space is, I guess, is the best way to put that essential aspect of witchcraft. Now let's move on to the next one, because I want to get over to intention, which is the most important one. Real quick, I want to say hello to Carol on YouTube from UK. Hi, Carol. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Let's move on to purification, another essential. So we've covered consecration, the circle, and now let's get into what purification is. I love this one because it's not what you think it is. I used to be hardcore about purification before any ceremony. My teachers and my guides would have me fast for 24 hours before performing any magical rite. I used to do the full-on purification bath before I did any magical rite. I made sure I had my ritual garb all set aside and had certain, oils and incense and markings that I would do on my face and my my horn helmet, which I really miss that horn helmet. But for me, purification is the purification of your mind. And here, the author says you must avoid anything that will cause mental or physical disturbance in you before or during a rite. Uh, for my rituals, I always ask that you are not intoxicated. Um, I know a lot of us, especially when I was younger, we used to like smoke a little weed or something like that. I don't condone that anymore now that I know better. Um, I understand if, we want to have a little cocktail or something prior to that, but we don't want to be into a place where we are completely um, not able to focus. And that's the key here is the ability to focus and what is going to help you to focus. So for me, purification is doing what you can to allow you to help you focus. If that means taking a ritual bath beforehand, wonderful, then do that. For me, 30 years later, now it's just a matter of taking 30 minutes of just some light meditation, some, I don't know, Lorena McKinnon music in the background, just something to kind of take the day away, the day-to-day consciousness, and bring me into alignment with the work that I'm going to be doing moving forward during the ritual or during the spell or whatever it is I'm going to be doing. But, you know, turn off your phone. You know, don't be watching the news that might upset you. Give your give yourself the space, the mental and physical space to create a buffer between your daily waking world and the world that you're going to be entering, which is the world of focus, of magic, and of the subconscious and the super conscious. So it's good to respect that. It's good to create that purification time, even if it's as simple as performing a meditation prior to, and not eating a heavy meal. That's one of the things I will say. I'm still a stickler for my members not to have a heavy meal for at least 4 hours prior to going in. I always say, we want your blood in your brain. We don't want it digesting your food. If you need to eat some crackers because you're hungry, eat some crackers. But don't do anything that's going to take away and weigh you down or anything like that. To me, again, that's a form of purification. Now, let's move on to preparation. So here the author says, you must be prepared and possess all needed materials before beginning a rite. That's kind of common sense. My shamanic teacher put it to me this way, uh, and he was the one who kind of like led me the way as far as performing ritual was concerned. Was my shamanic practitioner, and he said, imagine it like going on a camping trip. You want to pack everything you're going to need. If you're going to be doing a rite outside, you want to make sure you have everything you're going to need outside. If you're going to need specific things in the circle, don't leave your mineral water in the cooler outside of the circle. Put it underneath the altar. Just some common sense. It's basically common sense stuff. Have everything you need. Now, if you're going to be performing specific rituals that are going to, I don't want to say need items, but you feel you're going to need specific items. Perhaps you're going to be working with the energy of Mars or the energy of Venus, and you're going to want to have those items. Of course, you're going to want them to be consecrated before you bring them in. But make sure you gather all the things you're going to use. There's nothing more. Nothing. It's very easy to break the spell. And what I mean break the spell is the flow of the ceremony. When we are reaching for an item on the altar table that you're expecting to be there, and it's not there, what happens? It kind of shakes you. You're like, oh, where'd it go? Oh no. So we kind of lose the magic. We kind of lose the focus and that stream of consciousness. 9 times out of 10, I will usually just giggle and shake it off. And it's like, okay, let's bring it down, reground. We can move on without it. But, let us do the best that we can to have everything you need, especially if you're going into some of the more deeper, I don't like to use the word dangerous, but more volatile ceremonies. There's some pretty volatile ceremonies, some of the Golden Dawn rituals and whatnot. You really want to make sure you have your A, your B, your C, and your D there, because it's better to be safe than sorry. But yeah, just make sure that you have everything with you, all the materials. My routine is about an hour or so before the ritual. I will make sure that I like lists. So I have a checklist. I'm like, okay, candles, particular oil, particular herbs, charcoal to burn the herbs and the resins, things that you need. Make a shopping list and make sure you check it off before. And now we're going to get into intention, because that's where you're going to make your shopping list. Hi. Hello, San Sunita on YouTube. I see you there from South Africa. Blessings to you too. Thank you for joining us today. And then last but not least, and again, this is probably the first thing that most teachers will teach, but for me, intention is the number one most important thing as far as the 5 essentials of witchcraft. And here, the author states, you must know what it is you will, will, what you will, and be unwavering in your determination. When we are doing a rite, a ritual, a spell, or even an intention, like we do here every week, we just do the intention. I believe, and I know through my experience, is that we must know what it is we are willing. For example, let's say that I am willing I'm going to use the common job thing. Everyone always talks about, doing a spell for a job. Let's just say I'm willing a job where, and for me, it's a job where I am happy and my financial needs are met. Okay. Let's just use that as an example. Now, what we must understand is that when we say unwavering, are we willing to have that job that you are happy and financially secure at in another state, in another country? If we're not, then it is important that we will. I will a job in my hometown where I am happy and where I am financially secure. In other words, be very clear on your will and be very focused on what your will is. There's a saying of, watch out what you're asking the universe, because the universe will give it to you. So be very clear and being able to see it all the way through. And I believe that's where a lot of us get this kind of work messed up, where we're not, there's that old saying, God's knocking on the door, but you're not answering. Goddess is knocking on the door, you're not answering. It's giving you what you want, but you just didn't know what you want. So for me, when I do these kinds of things, and that's probably why I like to do the meditation before we do our intention here every week, I actually will contemplate for a day or two before our show about what it is my intention is going to be for this week. Highly suggest, I'd like to offer that suggestion to all of you. But especially if you're going to be doing it in ritual, if you're going to be doing it with a full-blown rite, if you're going to be doing it with your coven, whatever it is, really think about all the aspects of it. And the thing is to be unwavering. What does unwavering mean? Unwavering to me means that we know that we deserve it. We know without a shadow of a doubt that we deserve that job, that we are happy, that gives us financial stability, that is in our own hometown. Uh, when we're performing magic, magic is not a place for insecurity. It is not a place for low self-esteem. Look at the witch's pyramid, and I had that video that I did about 6 months ago or so. If you want to go look at it, that'll talk you a little bit more through it. But it comes with a certain courage, and there needs to be that courage of knowing and sitting on it, sitting in it, on it, around it, and feeling it within every aspect of your core, feeling it not only feeling that you deserve it, but feeling it emotionally, knowing that you're getting it, knowing that you're manifesting it into your life, and not questioning it. Uh, in the witch's pyramid, I'll just bring it up a little bit. Right here, there's that last part that says to be silent. And that to be silent is not only not sharing it with people that might be like, oh, that's never going to work. You're sending negative energy toward it, but it's also with your own thoughts. It's all like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get it because I don't know if I deserve it. That is the unwavering aspect. It's important to know that we are determined, that we are. Sometimes I find that intentions work best when we're really fed up with the way things are going. And it's like, okay, I need to do something about it. Just like, I'll give you a personal example, and this is very personal to me. I'm sure you've noticed, 5 years ago, I was 50 pounds heavier, and I had a health concern, a health scare. My doctor was like, you better lose weight or else. And I was like, okay, that's it. I've had it. I don't want to feel sick anymore. I'm going to do this. And I took it off in like 9 months or 10 months or whatever. And I've kept it off for 3 or 4 years now. But that is what I mean. The determination. It's like, I can do this. I'm going to do this. There is nothing that's going to stop me from doing this. Your intention must have that same drive, that same determination. Allow your intention to be something that you know that you not only deserve, that you're driven to have, and that you are trusting that you are worth receiving, that you trust that you're worth receiving it. You'll notice when we do the intentions here, I'll do this real quickly. Some of the intentions we do here every week, I allow you to think about, what it is that you want, create a statement. I am, again, I'll do the job thing. I am working at a job that makes me happy, that fills my financial needs in my own time, in my own town. I am there. So we're creating that magical phrase. I am, fill in the blank, but we do it with the determination and knowing that we deserve it. The second part that I always do with you is to see yourself in it. Not in the future, not I am going to have a job. No. I am going to feel happy. No. I am happy. I am working, and seeing yourself and creating that thought form of the spell manifest. You're creating it in the ether, as above, so below. You're creating that thought form in the ether of it being completed. And once you can get that vision of it, when you get that idea and concept of yourself in it, then you start to feel the emotions. Oh, look, this feels so good. I've got I have it. We've completed it. I feel so good. I am so grateful. So we always like to add that emotion into it. We like to add that gratitude into it. And then of course we release it to the universe. So mote it be. Anyway, we're way out of time. I went over. I was like, I don't think I'm going to last too long on that one, but I had a lot more to talk about, especially when it came to intention. So let's put our practical and let's put our theory into practice now. So let's just do an intention. You don't need to go grab crystals or anything like that. Let's just do an intention together. So take a moment and think about what it is you would like to have manifest within your life. It could be physical, it could be emotional, it could be for the world as a whole. It doesn't need to be toward you. My only thing is I'm weary of doing it at somebody else without their permission. So, peace on earth, that's cool, but don't say I want my friend's divorce to go through. That's that's not your place to do it. So let's take a moment and think about what it is that we would like to intend into our life this week. If you'd like to close your eyes, you can. And let's come up with that phrase of I am fill in the blank. I am. Keep repeating that phrase in your mind. I am fill in the blank. Just keep repeating it until you begin to see a vision of it in your mind and what it looks like. We're building the thought form. See yourself in a scene where it's been completed, that you've manifested. Begin to notice the emotions you feel, that sense of satisfaction, a sense of calmness that might come from it, a sense of joy or elation that it might bring you. And I'd like you to hold on to that image, hold on to the emotion, and we'll repeat the phrase 3 more times. I am. I am. I am. So mote it be. It is done. It is done. Blessed be. Thank you, everyone. Hoping I answered. I know we had a question about what is ritual. I hope we answered that question pretty much. If I didn't, let me know. I'll go into it more next week. We are going to be doing another Q&A next week. I'd like to do one more Q&A before the solstice. So yes, I will be doing a live Q&A with you all next week. So please jot down your questions during the next week. I'm happy to answer anything, whether it has to do with magic, whether it has to do with meditation, whether it has to do with my work at Gray School, whether it has to do with how I blow dry my hair. I don't care. I am happy to answer anything you'd like. So please, by all means, jot down your questions, and I will see you here next week. I want to thank you all for joining me here. And please, by all means, I am going to put this out there now, is I'm going to be condensing some of my work. Unfortunately, the cost of software that I'm using, these broadcast things, are they've just like doubled. The my Facebook page software doubled. They're taking away the features, and it's just I I don't have enough supporters to cover the cost for it. So I'm going to have to downgrade a little bit. I'm most likely am going to be picking one or the other. I will not be simulcasting. Right now, I'm simulcasting on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and one other one that I can't even pronounce. Most likely, I will be moving strictly to YouTube. Sorry, Facebook. But just keep an eye out for that. Unless, please, by all means, become a supporter. You can subscribe on my YouTube channel, and I think it's like $3.99 a month or something. And yes, I do give you access to some VIP classes that no one else gets. You get access to supporter only content. Same thing with Patreon. Same thing with Facebook. But yeah, I love the way they chose this time with all the inflation to double everything. But anyway, I'm not complaining. I will be manifesting it. But let's go ahead and let's do our closing meditation. If you'd like to join me. As I breathe in this sacred day, my calm will grow. I call upon my inner guides to help me take it slow. My serenity and tranquility will overflow. With harm to none, blessings to all. So mote it be. Blessed be. I love you, and I will see you all next week. And I can't wait to hear what some of your questions are. I'll see you then. Have a great week, everybody.